Welcome to my sweet southern town, Washington. Little Washington, the original Washington, Washington, North Carolina. Hop on, we're going for a tour. Hi, I'm Scott Campbell, a realtor with Century 21 here in Washington, North Carolina. I'm going to do a nice video tour of our beautiful town, concentrating on the historic district. Let's start our tour here on the banks of the beautiful Pamlico River, runs right through the heart of our downtown. This is our main street. As you can see, we're under construction and we're getting ready for your visit. So by the time you get here, this great landscape, streetscape will be done. It'll be gorgeous, lots of room for pedestrians, lots of room for outdoor tables. Fabulous. We are at our fantastic Turnage Theater, an original vaudeville theater. It is a wonderful asset in town, home of the Arts Council. Let's go in, we're saving you a seat. Welcome to the Turnage Theater. It's the home of our local Arts Council, the Arts of the Pamlico, and it's a fantastic venue for all of our local artists and some of our local hams. We've got a seat waiting for you, and we can't wait to see you here in Little Washington. We continue down Main Street. We're at the Bank of Washington building, the original Bank of Washington building, which is an example of a Greek revival. It survived two of the major fires that ran through Washington, the one in 1864 during the war, and then one in 1900. It's one of the few buildings that actually did survive those fires. And look, another Bank of Washington building. This one repurposed to house the Hackney Restaurant and Distillery, a terrific example of the many adaptive reuses that we've done with our fantastic buildings here in Little Washington. Boutiques, restaurants, architecturally interesting. We're a great town. In the historic district, the Tar-Pamlico River is defined by Route 17. So west of 17 is the Tar, which is where we are, and then east of 17 is the Pamlico. That's where we'll be going. Welcome to West Main Street. Fabulous residential district here in Washington, and we're standing in front of Elmwood, the original plantation house. It's a federal style house with Italianate additions when it was moved. What? Yes, they moved this house in 1915. And here we are at the Riverside Winfield House, which was originally the Riverside Hotel. And it is a beautiful colonial revival style, and it was also a boarding house at one point and a school run by the grandmother of Cecil B. DeMille. What? Yes, Cecil B. DeMille is a Washington native. And here we are at the Warren House, which is a Carpenter Gothic, highlighted by the steep, beautiful peaks and arches that this house has. Continuing our trip down West Main Street, we're now at the Dumais House, an incredibly beautiful representation of Queen Anne architecture. And you can see by the fenestrations and the multiple gables and the bay windows, highlights of a Queen Anne. Also in front of the property is the original carriage stoop. So as a horse-drawn carriage would pull up, the doors would open and your step was right there ready to go. Here we are on West 2nd Street in front of a fantastic Italianate. It's highlighted by the overhanging eaves and the large first floor windows and generally some flat roofs. It's a beautiful example and the gardens are awesome. Continuing our trip down West 2nd Street, we're coming up to all these beautiful painted cottages, as I call them. Lots of great colors, lots of great people. It's a fun place, great part of town. Here we are at the Fowl House, which is a fantastic example of a federal style property with Victorian elements that were added when the house was moved. What? Yes, we love moving our houses in Washington. The house used to sit right here. Then they moved it and added to it. Here we are at Havens Wharf, one of the original shipping areas out of Little Washington with the river right there. It's a very rare example of early 19th century wharf buildings. We are a vibrant town with new properties and new builds right in our historic district. Beautiful example of a Queen Anne style. Great houses all along East Main Street. Here on East Main Street, we have a terrific example of a Tidewater style architecture, primarily found in the Southeast. And the story goes that the well for the community used to sit here in the front of the property, which is why the house sits back off of Main Street. This is the Nicholson House, one of our examples of a true Victorian style house here in Washington. This beautiful example of a colonial revival style house built in 1915 retains its original pressed tin roof, along with the hallmarks of a colonial revival, which is this fabulous wraparound porch. Here we have another example of a terrific Queen Anne style. You can know that by looking at the bay windows, the ornamental fenestration, multiple gables, lots of trim work. Ooh, it's busy, but it's pretty. Washington's only neoclassical style property is right here, and it's highlighted by its monumental portico. Washington's very proud of its gardens, and there's no better example than this gorgeous one right here. Thanks for joining me on this tour. I had a great time. Please come and visit us here in Little Washington, the original Washington, Washington, North Carolina. This sweet southern town is my home. I love it, and I know you will too. At the end, you'll be able to see some more information and details. Please check it out, and check us out when you're here in Little Washington. See ya!